Hi, hello, I've got what I hope is a short US policy update for you. Here's some probably unnecessary context, but the world is warming up, climate change is happening, plus there's a global pandemic going on, and the systems that are causing and amplifying the impacts of climate change and the pandemic are rooted in systemic racism and inequality. So, on Thursday, September 10th, 2020, Representative Deb Haaland and Senator Ed Markey and Chuck Schumer and a whole lot of other representatives, backed by a whole lot of organizations, announced the Thrive Resolution. So what is that? Well, Thrive stands for Transform, Heal, and Renew by investing in a vibrant economy. I don't really know what vibrant economy is. The word vibrant is literally only mentioned in the name and nowhere else in the resolution, but you gotta call it something, I guess. Thrive is a resolution, like the Green New Deal, and the representatives and the supporters behind it are basically calling Thrive one of the first steps of the Green New Deal. If you need a refresher on the GND, check out this video. And like the Green New Deal, the resolution's language is quite broad and general. It's designed as a kind of roadmap or political wish list. In short, Thrive is a green economic stimulus designed to pull the US out of the pandemic, the recession, and the climate crisis, with a massive focus on justice. The agenda is structured around 8 pillars: create millions of good, safe jobs with access to unions, building the power of workers to fight inequality, investing in Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities, strengthening and healing the nation-to-nation relationship with sovereign Native nations, combating environmental injustice and ensuring healthy lives for all, averting climate and environmental catastrophe, ensuring fairness for workers and communities affected by economic transitions, reinvesting in public institutions that enable workers and communities to thrive. I don't know, those words sound pretty good to me, but as LeVar Burton says, you don't have to take my word for it. Organizations from Sunrise to the Indigenous Environmental Network to the Movement for Black Lives have all endorsed the Thrive Resolution and agenda. Data for Progress, a progressive think tank, has released data that says voters across swing states and battleground districts all support each of these pillars. Some of my personal favorite things that are explicitly called out in the resolution are a commitment to keeping global temperatures from rising 1.5 degrees Celsius. The 1-degree rise we're already dealing with has proven devastating, and I, for one, do not want to find out what anything higher actually looks like. Here's a cool one: expanding broadband infrastructure and access. I think this is a massively under-discussed area of inequity, but also a serious climate solution. Better internet everywhere means remote work is more feasible, there's less traveling, more educational opportunities, and strong, resilient internet infrastructure can improve communications during emergencies and disasters. The resolution also says 40% of all investments must be directed at communities that have been excluded, oppressed, or harmed by racist or unjust practices. And unsurprisingly, since we're in the middle of a pandemic, the Thrive Resolution really drills home the connections between climate, injustice, and health, and improving health outcomes is interwoven throughout all the pillars. This is all really exciting to me. It's a sign that even if the folks in power are just trying to keep that power, they're at least listening to what activists are saying, to what the science says, to what people actually need. But does this go far enough? Well, it's hard to tell. It's very vague and open-ended. There aren't any explicit dollar amounts or dates. There's absolutely no discussion or commentary on global implications, like where will we get the physical resources to build this infrastructure. The Green New Deal has been similarly criticized as being imperialistic because it relies upon massive extractions of resources from the global south, where labor and environmental standards are manipulated to be lower by the US trade bullying, and it doesn't get into that at all. And then there is the literal elephant in the room. There is no way that this resolution will pass in Congress today. I don't even believe they're trying to push for that unless something truly amazing happens before November. But November isn't that far away, and the sponsors on this resolution are not just the most radical or most left representatives. There are some fairly middle-of-the-road Dems on this list. So if you want to see something like Thrive pass and you're in the US, you need to call your representatives, especially if they aren't already a co-sponsor. And you gotta vote. Figure out who's running for office in your district and make sure they support Thrive and other forward-thinking, inclusive climate actions. And if you want some help with that, the Sierra Club has a handy page with a dial-in number, suggested script, and email blast. Links below. Let me know what your thoughts on the Thrive Resolution are downstairs, and if you aren't in the US, does your country have anything similar that's in the works or already implemented? Let me know.